everyone. This is Mike.
And this is Josh.
And this is Must See Before You Die.
That's right.
All right. So today we're going to look at behind the scenes, some exploring behind the scenes of 30 Days of Night and maybe some things you didn't know. I'm going to throw them straight up here and start talking about them. But this is one of Josh's favorite movies. I kind of gave it an average score, but Josh really likes it. It's got some really cool scenes, really cool vampires in this, really cool kill scenes.
A great cast.
Great cast,
Mike.
I can't remember the guy's original name, but the guy that played in Yellowstone is a bad guy. He was a younger vampire this 15 years ago, but he did a really good job.
Well,
and he was,
to me, the cast really elevates this, Mike. That's what makes it, really high for me too.
yeah.
It really, it's really elevated. So let's go over that Rotten Tomatoes score real quick, Mike.
Yeah, we got a 56 from the audience and a 51 from the experts.
And like I said in our review, that is criminal in my opinion. That's horrible in my opinion. I mean, critics, okay, but audience, the audience doesn't dig this that much. Like, why? I'd want to know why. Like, what? Like the cast is great. Okay, the story has some holes in it, but the story is very original in my opinion. I mean, like, to know that there's a place that gets 30 days of night, there's no sun, like, that is perfect for vampires. So, It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was an original storyline. I think, like I told in the other version, I mean, the full review of it, I'd just like to see a little bit more behind the story. And I didn't even know there was a prequel to this or a sequel, so I'll have to go back and watch those as well. Maybe
I've never seen them, but I heard they're horrible.
Oh, that's not good. So let's dig into this. So Josh Hartnett, he did his own stunts, and Melissa George did most of her own driving stunts. So
okay, that's cool.
That's something right off the bat. This was based off of a graphic novel. It said in the comics, the head vampire Vicente travels to Barrow to stop the other vampires' plans in order to preserve the secrecy of vampires.
Right.
That was in the comic.
Right. That does not happen in the movie at all.
So it's changed a little bit here. So if you were into the comics, a little bit different here. So the entire town of Barrow, or is that Barrow or Barrow? How you say that?
I think it's Barrow.
Barrow. Used in the movie was built in New Zealand. All scenes were shot there or in a sound stage where it was easier to control the fake snow.
Yeah, yep. But I watched something and they did say they filmed a lot of scenes at legitimate nighttime too. It wasn't just like a fake night. Like they filmed some stuff at legitimate during the night. Another thing is I saw that Josh Hartnett at the time was kind of he got tired of Hollywood, so he was doing a lot of independent and smaller budget movies at the time. And this was kind of one of his bigger budget movies he got back into. He loved the script and he wanted to, be a part of it. So
this town is actually a real city in Alaska, even though it wasn't filmed in Alaska.
Right.
It really is a Barrow, Alaska. It says in reality, Barrow doesn't see the sun for roughly 67 days, not 30 days. So in real life, it's over twice the 30 days.
No way, Mike. Couldn't do it.
I can imagine. I mean, it's bad enough in the winter here in North Carolina. You get up, it's dark. You come home from work, it's dark. I can imagine being dark all the time.
Right.
So it does say most of the night shots were shot during the daytime using the day for night process.
Wait a minute, Mike. See, I watched something where it said they actually filmed a lot at night too.
So yeah, I saw this actually on two different facts about the movie. So I don't know. Maybe that one put an asterisk on it. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, Mike.
So it says the vampires speak a completely original language. Mm-hmm. It was created for the film with the help of a linguistics professor at a New Zealand university.
I thought that was really unique, and I thought it was great. Now, if you don't have subtitles, you don't know what they're saying, right, Mike?
Yeah, I just thought that was just making stuff up. I thought it was like crickets or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that may be why my score wasn't as high either, Josh. I didn't know really everything that was going on with the vampires there.
Right.
So, and then the last fun fact thing, or exploring behind the scenes here, we got, according to the DVD commentary, Josh was sick with mono for 2 weeks of filming, And during this period, he had to fly to Venice, London, New York, and Los Angeles for premieres of The Black Dahlia, which he was in 2006. So
Right.
he was pretty sick, during this process. So
Yeah.
it took a little bit out of him.
So yeah, well, yeah, I heard that too, Mike. I also heard that.
Did you ever see the IMDb scoring on this?
No, I did not. I did not, Mike. So the movie has 66 kills. That's including the town, vampires, all that. So there is a lot of killing in this movie, definitely. There is a lot of blood and a lot of gory special effects, which are like the decapitations are really cool, Mike. You got to admit that. That's really cool. Especially Billy's decapitation. Oh, man. And he's screaming the whole time, because he's turning into a vampire. Like I said, I really enjoy the movie. I like the story. I know the story has some plot holes and different things, but for the most part, I like it. I don't know all the rules of the vampires though. Like we don't know every rule. Like what are their weaknesses? I mean, they figured out sunlight is their weakness, obviously. Seems like they were shooting some of them right in the head with a shotgun, and it was just blowing their head off. That would kill them. Separating the head from the body killed them. So it's not like a wooden stake would have killed them, or garlic would have done anything, or holy water, or anything like that. It wasn't like those rules. It was like they had their own rules for killing them. But sunlight definitely was one of the things that was like the major thing. And they figured that out by using that grow light or whatever. So anything else you want to say, Mike?
No, that's it. I mean, again, it's one of those. Both our scores were above average for this. Josh was a little higher than mine, but it's definitely one of those. If you like horror movies, like I had not seen for many, many, many years. In fact, I didn't even know I'd watched it before. And then when I started watching, I was like, hey, I do remember this after all. So maybe I need to watch it again with the subtitles instead of trying to just guess what they were saying. But it's definitely worth checking out. And I was glad to see some of the behind the scenes, kind of facts about the movie behind the scenes as well.
Yeah. And I do know the director of this, there's no director's cut of this movie because everything that the director was in this movie. He had to fight some things to stay in, and change a little bit. But for the most part, this director got to make the movie he wanted to make. And that's great. That's great to know. And also, this director actually went on later to direct the third Twilight movie. So you have this movie about vampires that are vicious and awesome. Then you have him doing a Twilight movie. So, yeah. That's a downgrade in my opinion, but whatever. I think that's cool that he got to, his vision was fully seen in this movie, which is really cool,
Yeah, I think that was awesome. And even though this movie, it started out, I didn't have this in the I can't believe I left this out of the behind the scenes on it. This movie opened up in week 1 at number 1 in the box office, and then I think by week 2 it fell down to 3 or 4, and but Saw 4 ended up taking over as the number 1 the next week. Right. But still, for the amount of money, I think it was. I think it was the budget was around 30 million. It did go over 100 million, so it did well overall.
It was I think they said it was a modest hit.
Yeah. So tell us what you think. Have you seen it before? Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think. Did you know any of these other scenes? If you know any other facts behind the scenes, put them down in the comment too, and let us know what they are.
So, Mike, what movie franchise are we doing next in January, Mike?
Friday the 13th.
So there's a Friday the 13th in January. So we are going to be doing several, not all of them, of course, because there's a lot left. We've only done the first one, but we're going to focus on for the month of January. The month of January, we are focusing on Friday the 13th. So I think we're going to do 2, 3, and I think 4. Did we say we're going to do 3 of them? Or
I know we had 2, maybe a third one if we had enough time. Okay,
so we are going to focus on Friday the 13th for January, and I'm excited about that, Mike.
Yeah, I can't wait to do number 2. I mean, all of them, don't get me wrong, but I can't wait to do number 2 and the
Yep.
Jason was good in the sack. Look.
Yep. Yes. Okay,
All right,
dude. Wait,
see y'all
Jason
guys
was
later.
good in the
Bye.
sack. Mike, what'd you say? Jason was good in the sack.
That's what the T-shirt says. I've seen that on Facebook. I'm good in the sack, or Jason's good in the sack, or something.
Yeah. Okay, Mike. I liked it.
Y'all have a
See
good
you,
one.
dude.
Bye.
Bye. Like, comment, subscribe.